this computer. So I'm here today with Bill Curcio for Latin Business Today and the Sport Business Institute. Bill has become a dear friend. He's also a guy who trains people for a living, and he's got his biggest challenge yet in me. But I told at the end of the day, if he can get me going,
I enjoy the challenge.
Then he can work with anybody. But Bill's done a lot of Ironmans, obviously a lot of training. So let's get into the conversation a little bit. Bill, welcome first of all.
Hey Dave, how you doing?
Good, buddy. So how did you get into this business, first of all?
I guess from an early age, I decided I really enjoyed fitness, first for myself. And I just liked the whole process of figuring out how to change your body, how to get in shape. And then from there, I took it a step further on how to program workouts for myself. And then I would try them on my friends. And it was fun, just a kind of a hobby. I just always loved working out. And I just kept taking it each step further. Started training at the Greenwich YMCA when I was 17. Just helping people out, walking around, getting to know people. And honestly, being an introvert helped me get more comfortable. Like, I had to push myself to get out and talk to people.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just, I kept wanting to go further. Like, I kept reaching every little goal, like we talked about the other day, I set for myself, and I reach it and then decided what would be the next step. So eventually I decided the next step would be, creating my own business, Curcio training, and then just working for myself. So
you work with obviously a lot of different people in different, situations, right? So I take myself on one end of the spectrum, and you have people who are probably very competitive athletes, bicyclists, whatever you've done. Tell us about your Ironman competition as well.
So I started doing Ironmans I've done 6 of them. The first one I decided to do, I did a triathlon, and I thought it was easy. It was a little sprint. So instead of like taking the next logical step by going into Olympic, I decided just to go to Ironman. Because that's how I roll, I guess. So it was probably the hardest thing I ever did. It took me, the first one took me like 11 hours, but I was young and stupid, so I just used aggression and powered through it. But then from there, I started learning more about the actual sport and how to train properly, nutrition, and then took that little step further and kind of dialed in and how to not hurt myself as I got older.
Yeah, for those of us who don't know what that means, what does the Ironman, what do you actually do in an Ironman competition?
So it's a 2.5 mile swim, 112-mile bike, and then a 26.2 mile run, back to back to back. So it's a good workout. It's a good day, all right? But as I said, when I was younger, I was able to just use anger and caffeine and just go as hard as I could. But yeah, I had to learn how to use nutrition and eat what the right foods were. So it got harder, but I also improved. I got faster as I got older. So it's been quite a good experience.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of that too, no matter what kind of shape you're in, is got to be, between the years, almost like golf, where you have to be mentally stable or strong, right? To get through something like that.
I think, yeah, I would honestly say you go to some, when you're feeling good, like in the beginning, the gun goes off, everyone's running the water, everyone's excited, there's music, it's, at first I'm like, I couldn't believe I was doing it. I'm like, I can't believe I'm here. So, but then all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 hours in, when you're like at mile 70 of the bike, then that adrenaline starts wearing off. And then you can go to some pretty dark places in your head telling you to stop, to quit, it hurts. I've had times when one race I never forget, I made it through the swim and through the bike. I was in Cozumel, Mexico. It was hot, and I made 10 miles of the run, and I couldn't go any further. And I basically sat on a bench and just sat there for about 20 minutes in like a weird kind of, almost like a meditative state, I wanted to get up. I couldn't. People were trying to tell me, come on, you can keep going. So I took me some time to kind of get myself together, and then decided, all right, I have 13 more miles, or whatever the distance was. So that one took me a good 14 hours to finish. It was horrible, but I still finished it. I want every part of me wanted to quit, every fiber of my body.
That it doesn't sound like fun to me. I got to be honest with you.
No, well, I think what I do like explain that a lot of people see they have an Iron Man tattoo or you have a logo and they think Iron Man's an aggressive. Some people are cocky and arrogant, and I like the other end of it. I want to be humble and share that. Like, not everybody is that really super A, type A intense triathlete. I'm not making money doing it, so I don't need to be a jerk while I'm doing it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, I guess
So,
with anything, let's hope. And I know you well enough to know you're not a jerk. So,
right.
but you do. I mean, this is something you do for a living. In terms of training people. So, I mean, that's a business, right? So you're running a small business pretty much.
Right. Right.
And business is you. And at the end of the day, you're dealing with a lot of, like I said before, you're dealing with people who are in different places. So you have to, be patient with and kind of learn where people are, I guess, in terms of their fitness and their training.
Right. All different levels. And I think by me doing this in the past, it's taught me how far your body can go, how hard to push. And it's made me, and I tell my clients, I really do know what it feels like. I'm not just saying it. Like, I do know, and I can help get you a little further, push you a little further, and bring you back, whatever direction we're going in, and, do it in a safe environment. Like, so,
Right.
using myself as an experiment, maybe we'll call it that.
Yeah, and so right. I mean, you're going to push, but you're not going to drive people into submission or, to the point where they don't want to do it anymore. But you
Right.
mentioned something very important, I think, a minute ago, and that was the environment. Now, obviously, our environment has changed in the last 14 weeks, and
Yeah.
and I'm sure you've had to adjust. How have you adjusted? I'm sure with all the gyms being closed and whatnot. What have you done?
Well, like we said, we talked about I turned it into a positive. The first 2 weeks, yes, everybody stopped. I was really, really panicked. I didn't want to bother people, but I keep reaching out. So I just started posting workouts, let people follow them. Then I just kept at it and saying, whatever everyone's comfortable, I would do whatever I needed to do. FaceTime in homes at a park. And slowly but surely, I started doing more FaceTime training, which, if you asked me 4 months ago, would I be doing FaceTime training? I hated it. I hated FaceTime. I hated seeing myself, hearing myself on camera. I just had to do it. And then I got really comfortable, and I decided I'm the one who controls the environment. So if I'm comfortable, I can make everyone else comfortable. So I'm just trying to keep everything as normal as possible. And I just tell everybody, we're still working out, still the same. Wherever we do it, it could be, in a park, in a room, on FaceTime. I just have to lead it and keep everybody comfortable. And I think that really worked out, because I just started getting busier, and things are going well now. I'm very lucky.
Good. Well, and you got, I mean, especially in this day and age, and you have to adjust, right? You got to.
Yes.
You can't be married. If you're married one thing, you might be out of a job or out of business. A lot of people are readjusting, their resumes now, obviously to fit other molds. So
right.
So you obviously you've got the experience, you've got the the business is yours. You have a set of clients I'm sure that it kind of changed, and you'll train people wherever they want to be trained. So we go to the track now, which is
right.
great for me. You'll also go to people's homes, and fortunately here in where we live in New Canaan, there are a lot of people who have home gyms.
Yes. Yes, very lucky. Right.
Yeah. So let's touch on the nutrition side for a second. You and I have never really gotten into that in depth.
I know that's a tricky one. I think I can, I'm not really a certified nutritionist, but I really feel like I like the basics. I think. Well, what do you want to ask me about?
Well, what would you say? I mean, to me, it's a lot of it. I think is going to be common sense. But if we sat down and I said, walk me through a day. What should I should I be counting calories? Should I be counting carbs? Should I be, what do I need to do to improve, to get better, to lose weight, or get in shape?
I think your diet should be sustainability. If you can, a lot of these diets start out and people get all excited and they get into it, and then they realize it's hard work and it gets harder. So if you, that, most diets fail because people can't sustain that type of eating. So I really think it's just basically making healthy choices. And the basic motto: calories in and calories out. If you're taking in more calories a day than you're burning, then the scale is going to tip, right? So now I also realize people have different health issues with slow metabolism or thyroidism or whatever that is. And then I try to get into that, but again, that takes me out of what I should be teaching. So, I give people ideas on what they could do: lower their carbs, lower the sugar. So, but I think the biggest goal is like just keeping away from the processed food and the sugar, and keeping it healthy, like natural sugars, fruits, vegetables, all the basics, I think. And I've been doing it that way, pretty much since I was in my 20s, right? So I can easily sustain it because it's not too radical.
Mm-hmm.
I know Ironman's radical, but not my eating.
So, and that to me is it's great, and I agree with you. And it's like common sense, it's what you put in. If you don't burn it off, then it's not a good thing. So, so you're really kind of obviously trainer, guru. You're also a motivator. You like to motivate people to achieve their goals.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I try to, it's hard to stay positive, especially now, right? But I mean, what other alternatives do we have? I guess, I like seeing people accomplish things that they don't think they can. Even if, I have a girl now that I'm training. She's younger. She's probably 14 or 15, and she has, I don't know I forget the word, if it's PSOD. It's something where her body produces too much testosterone at that age. So she has to get medicine in her body. So she's really fighting, and she's gaining weight. She can't stop. And it's getting really tough. And I'm trying everything I can think of. And I keep saying, we're going to achieve this goal. We're going to get there. And some days she's good. I'm in contact with her mom all the time. And I just, I really want her to achieve her goal. So I'm trying to figure out what can I do to help this girl. And it's upsetting to see that, as a teenager. So I like to help. Again, it's not all about pushing people till they break down and they don't want to work out all the time. It's about keeping them going any way you can think of.
Yeah.
So most people don't want to be yelled at.
Yeah, no, they don't. No, I got yelled at enough when I played football. I don't need that.
Yeah, exactly. And I see it all the time. And it really ekes me to watch other people do this, and sometimes could give us a bad name. Yeah. So anyway.
Let's talk for a second. Let's go back to this situation, the coronavirus and what it's done. What do you see people going actually back to the gyms and back? I mean, or, do you think people will be more cautious?
That's a tough one. As you know, I left the gym that I was at, Halo Studios, and decided to go off my own because I'm not sure. It seems a little, I don't know what the regulations are going to be if you have to wear a mask and gloves, limit how many people can go in at a time, constantly cleaning equipment, or who was there before. So it's going to be a little bit, I'm sure you get people who definitely will go and they don't care. You get different levels of what people are comfortable doing. So for what I'm doing, and I think I see a lot of people now outside, people are figuring out how to work out in their, in their garages, in their rooms. And I just see the whole industry changing, But again, who knows, smaller gyms might do better than the bigger ones, or until they figure out the vaccine. So it's a like any other bit, it's a tricky question, right?
Yeah, no, and we don't have all the answers, but it's interesting, because I don't know how some of those gyms are going to survive, to be honest with you, because I do think, personally, people are going to be very wary, and memberships are going to go down. I mean, but that's another.
It is. Yeah, it is. I don't know. It could be a lot. There could be lawsuits. I mean, who knows? From lawsuits to people getting sick and wanting to show a gym to just the little stuff. So,
but you, in terms of you and your business, you've adjusted to where you're amphibious. You're somebody who can be at the track, at the high school, or in somebody's home, or even on a street, and you can do the the weight training if it's that, or the aerobic stuff. So that
I just adapt. Yeah, I adapt to the environment. Keeping it in smaller groups, I think is safer. So, but I adapt to what people need. I kind of figure it out and then go from there, basically.
So we had a gentleman on who you actually know pretty well. A gentleman by the name of Tom Laidlaw, who we did
What's up,
this.
Tom?
So you're following in Tom's footsteps, and he's amazing with when he's up at 3 o'clock in the morning, walking in the dark, and he's
Yes,
yeah,
he's a motivator. Yeah.
yeah, he's trying to motivate people as well, which is great. So, Bill, where can people find you? And I'll, we'll put this in the text also, but tell us where they can find you.
So if you go to curciotraining.com,
Okay.
that's my website, and that has all my information, my number on there, and my email. And, where you see a black Jeep driving around New Canaan with skull and crossbones on the side. That's me also. But I got to be careful with that one. So, but yeah, curciotraining.com
Okay.
is my website.
All right. And so, anything else you want to add while we're still on? Anything top of mind?
No, I appreciate for you bringing me on, Dave. And again, I feel like I'm very lucky to have adapted to this. Some people haven't.
Yeah.
But I think, I truly like and enjoy motivating people to the best of my ability. I might not be the smartest guy, but I think I really think about what people need and their wants, and I kind of analyze that and just go from there. So that's pretty much it.
And you have 2 daughters, right?
I have Sophie is graduating high school, New Canaan High.
Yep.
She was a captain of the cross country and the track team.
Nice.
So she kind of took her, I can't even keep up with her anymore.
Yeah.
And then Shady is going to be a junior at the high school.
Okay. Good.
So
God bless you on that. And 3 women, and you're kind of like the last man standing TV show. So.
Oh yes, definitely. So, but that's all good. I get outnumbered. I got a dog, so he's my friend.
There you go. Let me see the shirt before we sign off. We show your shirt. There you go. That's what we're looking for. Curciotraining.com. Curcio. Curcio. I apologize. Bill is a good man, and we appreciate him taking the time today. And thank you, Bill, for your time.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, buddy.